Deborah Murphy here, and we're at Farm Tech, joined by Simon Kitely, all the way from Cambridge, United Kingdom. Simon, today you were talking about neonicotinoids, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Or more a case of the lack of neonicotinoids because we banned them in 2013.
So for those that weren't paying attention to the whole UK banning or EU banning, tell us a bit about what happened.
Okay, so in 2013, the European Parliament voted to ban the use of neonics on flowering plant species because of concerns about bee health. I can't really go into the science of that because I'm not sure there is a lot of science behind it,
right.
But we got stuck with the ban, and it kicked in for the plantings in 2014. And your growers need to realise that I'm talking about winter oilseed rape. We're not growing spring canola.
Right.
So it's a different beast really. It's got a different range of pests and diseases and timings. So autumn 2014 was the planting time. That's the first time we didn't have the protection.
And how did it go?
Very badly indeed.
What happened?
It was almost a perfect storm. We had enough rain to get the crop germinating, but when it came up, it went very dry and cold for that time in September, so that the plants were scarcely moving, and we realised that we'd just got tremendous numbers of flea beetles coming into the crop, and they were eating the crop faster than it could come through the ground. It was just horrible to see.
And were there any other options besides the neonics?
Well, of course, pyrethroid sprays would traditionally be used as the backup plan, but we've got a tremendous proportion of the beetle population is resistant to pyrethroids, so these sprays don't work. And if anything, we're actually killing off the non-resistant part of the population and ending up with a really terrible resistant population.
Were you seeing resistance with the neonics as well?
Hard to say. I think not. I think the science said that they have not detected it. But there've been cases over the last 2 or 3 years where odd patches of fields would suddenly start to go backwards. You know, they're sort of yellow and shredded, and we were trying to put it down to sort of herbicides from the previous crop, that sort of thing. Because this was treated seed, surely it couldn't have insect pressure on it. But it had been there because I think we'd had years of the build-up of this pest, which had been pretty well controlled by the neonics. But we've got a gradually warming climate with very few winters dipping below the +3 degrees, which is the cutoff for beetle activity. We don't get killing frosts, but they can go on laying eggs throughout the winter if it's above 3 degrees. So we just got this terrible problem building up, and the numbers, the weather, and I would also say that we've learned subsequently that the pre-emergence herbicides that we've been using routinely have been holding the crop back. It's slowing down the rate of growth. So you'd got a crop that just could not outpace the insect pressure.
So how are farmers in the UK feeling right now?
They're very worried because since 2014 we've had one not quite so bad year because the weather was warmer. Still got a high number of crop failures, and then we had another bad year last year. This year has actually been fantastic because we had rain and warmth, so all the crops have grown. We've got an online survey that we do, and over the last 3 years we've had sort of red and orange dots with big black beetles flicking up all over the place. But I've only got a record of one failed crop this year. But it's just hiding from the truth. When you look into those crops now, the petioles, the leaf stems, they've got larvae in them, so they're just going to grow and develop over the winter. Then they're going to drop out and pupate in the soil, and they're going to be there as a population of new adult beetles for next planting season.
Right.
So
it's nerve-wracking. It's all dependent on the weather, really.
I mean, I joke with people and say that it's ruined my life. Well, actually, it has. You know, I do lose sleep about it. We've had to move all our operations at least 30 miles in any direction from Cambridge to find fields that are safe enough to try. So it's cost us a lot of money just to keep operating in research. And farmers in a big area between London and Cambridge, north of London, are dropping out of oilseed rape production. They don't want to waste the money on good seed that's not going to survive. So it is a big problem.
Has any good come of it?
No.
There are a lot of people who are saying this is good for pollinator health, right? And is that standing up in court now? This is the worst thing for pollinator health and for the health of all the beneficial predator and parasitic insects that help to control the beetle population. Because there's more spraying.
Because there's more pyrethroid spraying, which are not very effective at killing the beetles, but they're very effective at killing the beneficial species. So it's a tragedy.
Are politicians listening?
Well, they've been made to listen. There've been representations from our National Farmers Union. I've supplied the data from my surveys to them to use to show the extent of the problem. But they are not going to backtrack. There was, in that second year, so the 2014-15 season, the government gave us a derogation. It's a special permission to use them in the worst affected counties. But that backfired. My survey showed that the worst levels of damage were associated with neonic treated seed because they were in the most vulnerable situations and they couldn't stand up to the enormous pressure from the insects.
So finally, what can Canadians take from all of this?
You've got to be very, very careful. You've got to put good scientific research into place now before you ever get to the next decision on what to ban and what not to ban, because you've got to have the volume of evidence that will hopefully make the politicians feel good about the eventual decisions they make. Because there's no doubt about it, there's pressure groups who are very single-minded and usually lacking in hard technical information, but they're convincing and they put pressure on politicians. They put pressure on the public, who are not very well informed about most things to do with agriculture. It's not through, any ill feeling. It's just that you tend to go with the first strong argument that comes towards you. So your research organisations have just got to preempt the problems to come.
Simon Kitely, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy your visit to Canada.
I shall, my pleasure. Thank you very much.